My doctors are black.
Do y'all know, like, we the only one who don't do our own distribution, our own production, our own banking, our own hospital healthcare. We depend on everybody else for these things. Our own education. We are the only race of people who depend on everybody else for these things. What black owned banks is in our communities? I went to go open up an account at a black owned bank only to find out it was no longer black owned. It haven't been for 5 years. Where are our black owned grocery stores? Our black owned hospitals where the head of the hospital is black, the nurses are black, the doctors are black. You can refer this black woman to a black specialist, because y'all know who doing that? Jewish people, the Arab people, they all doing it. The Koreans are doing it. Why aren't we doing this? Why are we? Our doctors are some Indian woman. Our doctor is a Filipino woman. Our doctor is a Jewish specialist.
My doctors are black.
Do y'all know, like, we the only one who don't do our own distribution, our own production, our own banking, our own hospital healthcare. We depend on everybody.
Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is Thamayim in Atlanta, and as you just saw, we have a B-dub here complaining about our economic situation as quote-unquote black people. But as we know, the Negroes, the so-called Negroes, are in fact the Southern Kingdom. We are the Israelites, and that's also including, or not with the Southern Kingdom, but that includes the Native American and the Latinos. We are all Israelites, as well as the scattered, and anyone who comes from the seed through their father's lineage from that line are Israelites. But this woman she's upset about our financial situation, our economic situation, our business situation here in Babylon. And I hope to answer some of her questions for her with the scriptures, of course, because everything she just complained about, it goes back to the curses. And it also goes into, she spoke of these other nations that do have this, and that goes into the Psalms 83 nations who made a tumult against us and conspired together to keep us down in the situation that we're in. But mostly this goes into the curses that are listed here in Deuteronomy chapter 28. Those curses are the entire reason for our situation, not just the economic, but the physical, the mental, the spiritual. All of the reason that we're not really excelling here in this world. And it's not our world. This is the time of the Gentiles, so the Gentiles are going to prosper and do well. Our kingdom comes next. It says Esau is the end of the world, but Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So there's not really any point to trying to have black-owned banks and black hospitals and all these things she was speaking of, because this world is about to be wiped away. It won't be even remembered of, or it's not going to exist anymore. But this is Deuteronomy 28, and we're going to start here at 15. It says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." And we did not hearken unto his voice. We didn't do all his commandments. We didn't stick to the statutes. So, therefore, the curse cleaves to us. In Daniel, it speaks of that, how we all broke it. and how we're all cursed at this point. And it's not until Yahweh Shai returns that curse will be broken and they'll be taken off of us and put onto our enemies. It says, "Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field." And so in the city, we don't have all these stores and hospitals, as she was speaking of. We're the laborers. It's just not going to be that way in this world that we're in currently. It says, "And cursed shalt thou be in the field." That's the entire world. "Cursed shalt thou thy basket. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store." And that goes into your savings and your financials. We've got holes in our baskets, so we can't even save anything, which in turn makes our financial outlook or our financial snapshot not very good, which hurts our opportunities to build businesses and banks and all the things that come from having a good financial report. Skip down to 33. "The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up." So all of our wages, all of our small little paychecks, we spend it on the businesses of the other nations. We weave from Elam or the East Indians. We go to Moab for fillies and wings and billies, and for shoes that they make cheaply, and we spend all our money on that. And then Esau gets a cut of everything, and he's got his hands on everything. So everything that all of our increase, we just send it out to the other nations. But that's just a part of the curses. "And thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always, so that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see." And that lady, she's frustrated. She was upset about all that she sees. She's a perfect illustration of Deuteronomy 28 and 34. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 43. "The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low." And we are at the absolute bottom right now. "He shall lend to thee," as in, we're not going to be running banks to lend. It's our enemies that are lending to us, at least right now at this point. "And thou shalt not lend to him." So you can put away that dream of having black-owned banks. It's just not going to happen in this lifetime, or in this world that we're currently in Esau's world. "He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail." And that line right there should sum up all of her questioning. Everything she just asked. That one, Deuteronomy 28 and 44, should be able to answer that, if she has the eyes and the ears to hear and see. Verse 46, "And they," as in these curses, "shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever." So these curses are just going to be on us. They cleave to us. They actually show that we are the children of Israel, because it's obvious that we're just at the bottom and that we're cursed people. But all these things are going to change, and we just have to seek the Lord and come back to him and wait for Yahweh Shai to return. This is Baruch, the 4th chapter, and we're going to start at 21 and go down, because all these things that she spoke about, they're going to change. It's going to be a great changing of places. Baruch 4:21. Be of good cheer, O my children, that being the children of Israel. Cry unto the Lord, and he will deliver you from the power and hand of the enemies. And your enemies are all of the nations that she just spoke about. She spoke about Esau. She spoke about Amalek. She spoke about Elam. She spoke about Moab. And those are all those nations are listed in Psalms 83. For my hope is in the everlasting, that he will save you, and joy is come unto me from the Holy One, because of the mercy which shall soon come unto you from the everlasting our Savior. For I sent you out with mourning and weeping, but the Most High will give you to me again with joy and gladness forever, because our kingdom is going to be an everlasting kingdom. It's not going to be temporary like the heathens' kingdoms, like Esau's blessing. Ours is going to go on forever and ever. It says the saints shall take the kingdom, and it shall, actually I butchered that, but our kingdom is going to go on forever. Verse 24, like as now the neighbors of Sion have seen your captivity, being all those enemies, the Psalms 83 enemies, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our power, which shall come upon you with great glory and brightness of the everlasting. They are going to see our salvation while they're here getting burnt up in the nukes and tasting of all the tribulation that will be in the earth. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from the Most High. For thine enemy hath persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and shalt tread upon his neck. And we are in those times. We're seeing the fall of the Edomites, and we're seeing the fall of the other nations. And shortly, in due time, we're going to be treading on their necks. We are going to be over them. It says, Moab is my washpot, and Edom, it's under my shoe, under my boot. My delicate ones, and that was just paraphrasing, my delicate ones have gone rough ways, and were taken away as a flock caught of the enemies. The slave trade. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto the Most High, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you, these curses that we're under, the reason we don't have black-owned banks. For as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, this is all our fault that we are in this situation. So being returned, seek him 10 times more. So you need to come back to the Lord. You need to learn the name of the Father and the Son, which the Father's name is Yahweh, and the Son's name is Yahushai. You need to try to keep these law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your abilities. You need to stop following the ways of the world, and these things will speed up more and more to where this kingdom ends and ours can begin. It's our fault that we're here, so we have to put in work to get out of this situation through the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. For he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy with your salvation. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoiced at thy fall. These are all of our enemies. The Psalms 83, nations. Miserable are the cities which thy children served, and we were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So there are numerous cities that are going to be upset for what they have done. Miserable is she that received thy sons, that being the whore, the harlot that rides on the beast, which is the United States of America, Babylon the Great, because it will be destroyed. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin, which they definitely rejoiced over us, stealing the lands of Gad and Reuben, and of Issachar and most of the northern kingdom, and having us, the so-called Negroes, in slavery and treading on our necks. They rejoiced at that. They sent gifts to one another and said, "Blessed be the Most High, for he has blessed me." They loved it. But moving on, and it says, "And was glad of thy fall. So shall she be grieved for her own desolation. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude." He's taken away all of the mirth of this place. Nothing's fun anymore. "And her pride shall be turned into mourning." And you see on the, just watching TV, all the outlooks and future reports, the forecast. Nothing is looking good for this place. Nothing economically, infrastructure-wise. It's all crumbling. And people are just not happy anymore. "For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting," that being nuclear fire sent here from Gog and Magog, aka Russia, as well as the other allies of the United States. Nukes will be shot and America will burn. "Long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time." Shalom. I think it came back. We'll see. I'm going to finish out Baruch 4:35. "For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting," that being the nuclear fire, "long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time." And this place is just going to be a complete waste, and only desert creatures are going to be dwelling here. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakach Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.